Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geekonomics. It is the second week of January, and we are here to talk all things nerd. Brian's got a sweatshirt on because he's cold. He's got his powdered toast shirt.
Powdered toast, man. My brother got this for me for Christmas.
Ah, look at that.
I was secret. He was my secret Santa. Well, I was his secret Santa.
Ah,
so he got me this cool powdered toast man hoodie, and it is a cold one today. So I am wearing a hoodie.
10 degrees outside.
Yeah.
There's like a feel like of like -8 or something like that. It's
and
crazy.
like my basement isn't the warmest sometimes. So
yeah. It is. Feels like -5. It says on my phone right now.
Yeah. Luckily, tomorrow we will bounce back to balmy 30 degrees.
Open the pool.
Get the pool ready, baby, because we're going swimming tomorrow.
As my dad says, and I know I take and use as well. So have you noticed you do that now? Do you say, even though we're not dads, do you like take things your dad used to say and now you like take them as your own and use them? I've noticed like I do that with my dad's sayings and my grandfather's sayings. I'll just say things. I won't even like realize it. I just say it.
I don't know. I feel like I don't. I mean, I think I have dad like jokes or dad like sayings around the house.
Yeah.
That potentially my dad probably said it sometime.
Like I catch myself after I say it. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't like my dad. Like, it is what it is. I say that all the time. Claire's like, okay, Rick. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
Well, your dad did. I mean, that's a common saying, but your dad would say that a lot.
Yeah, that's my dad's like, it is what it is.
That's the equivalent as if, okay, say we're having a political discussion.
Yeah.
And we're not, and I say something and you like, I say something that's factually not true.
Yeah.
But you don't know much about that topic, but all you say, well, that's not true.
Yeah.
But you don't, and then then the person would say, well, I don't know. I don't know about that. That's how you just end I don't know about that.
Yeah, my dad's other one is whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I just don't know about that.
It's a get out of jail free card. You just kind of walk away from the conversation. It is what it is. And then you just kind of disappear into the ether.
Yeah.
It's a Rick Warnock trait. It's like, it is what it is. And then it disappears into smoke, like Batman smoke.
Like, I'll see my grandfather and he'll just start talking about politics, which, so I'll say something back to him.
Regurgitating the usual lines.
And I'll say something back to him like, well, this is why. And then he'll just say something else. I go, well, I just don't know about that. Because I want to end the conversation. I don't really.
Sure.
You're not going to solve the world's problems standing in your living room. So I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I catch myself doing that more and more as I get older.
Oh, wow. Speaking of getting older, I know Betty White passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
But we watched a wonderful documentary on Netflix about Betty White that came out in 2019.
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember seeing that. Wow.
Yeah, we watched that. It was really good, really touching. I don't know if it's on Netflix beyond the 17th. I think they're taking it off.
I think they're taking it off, and they were planning on doing something for her birthday. So I think that was what the shtick was.
Yeah, but really good. And then I didn't watch much this week. We watched Netflix release a bunch of comedy specials, new ones. We watched Mark Normandy's, which was really funny, and then Vanessa Villaseñor from SNL. Hers was really funny too. There's more comedians. It's like 3 seasons. They just released like 7 or 8 half-hour specials.
I just watched the new Jim Gaffigan one.
Oh, was it good?
It was good. Yeah.
I want to check that out. Yeah. That was on we saw that too. Right?
Yeah, Party Monster or whatever it's called. Something like that.
Yeah. You know what? Never mind. I can't think of their names, so I'm not going to even try to remember. Anyway, I don't know. How was your week, Mark? I mean,
it was good. Just a lot of sitting in the house. It's back to the old semi-lockdown situation. So kind of just doing that thing. Watching not much. I finished watching Titans season 3, which was very good. A better Gotham than the Gotham show ever was. I would say that. They delve way deeper into like the Bruce Wayne lore.
Yeah.
They do a very good Jason Todd story in that season 3. The whole Red Hood story, they can pretty much cover. Besides that, didn't really watch much else. A lot of football. It was last week of football, so a lot of that.
Patriots last.
They did, and then the coach for the other team got fired. So,
well, they're not going to fire Belichick.
No, the Dolphins coach got fired like the next day. So
why?
I guess they're saying they didn't have good relationships with each other in the organization.
Well, here's my thing now. So the Patriots lost. So now they are doing the wild card.
Yes.
Is that this weekend?
Yes.
Wow.
They're playing the Buffalo Bills.
Now, I have to imagine they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills are pretty good. These are the 90s Buffalo Bills. These are nude Buffalo
All right.
Bills.
Well, it's amazing how great the Patriots were doing in mid-season, and then now they're in the wild card. I mean, there was a point in time where they won a couple games in a row, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong there?
Yeah. Well, they're actually playing with the rookie quarterback. It's their new quarterback they drafted, Mac Jones. Mother Mac Jones. Yeah, so he's their new quarterback, and I think I'm astonished they're in the playoffs with the rookie quarterback. I wasn't expecting it to happen this quickly.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be another year or two before they actually got like the ball rolling again. But it looks like they're just heading hopefully back into being the Patriots of recent times, not the old Patriots I remember from growing up.
Yeah.
So
it'd be interesting because it's like crazy. Super Bowl is in February.
So a month from last week, February 6th.
Now, where's it being held?
SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles.
Now, is it going to be probably like last year where they're only going to let a certain amount of spectators in?
Nope, wide open.
Wow.
They're playing games there right now. They have 2 teams playing in that
building, they must. So. Are they doing like vaccine people only? Is that how they're doing?
I don't know. I'm not in charge of it.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know if you knew. Well,
I know they do have a backup if stuff goes south, I guess, in Los Angeles. This backup plan is Dallas. So where there's no rules.
Yeah. I figured it's going to be going out in Texas or Florida where there's no rules. Yeah. Like just to skirt.
Well, they just had the national championship for football in college yesterday.
I saw that.
In Indianapolis, and that was completely full. So
it was packed, and people are celebrating the streets. I'm like, oh my god, that's scary looking.
Yeah. Well, it was Georgia where they're celebrating. So it was the first time that team has won in 41 years.
I heard. But it looked like a super spreader. I was just
made me think of my grandfather because he lived in Georgia for years. And we used to joke about Georgia football all the time because he's like, oh, they waste all the state's money on that stupid school. Every time a coach would come on. There was a coach that Georgia had when I was younger that they had paid a lot of money for. And my grandfather would always complain about it. He's like, they're wasting all that money on that stupid coach. They could be using it to pave roads.
Oh boy.
I was like, oh man. So when Georgia was winning last night, I'm like, they're finally gonna pay off that money that you've been complaining about.
I'm sure tons of people said that about the Whalers at one point.
Oh yeah. Every team. If you're not a sports person, you think every team is the worst thing in the world.
I know, especially if they're losing.
Oh yeah.
Well, Mark. I'm almost done with my rewatch of Cowboy Bebop, the animated series. I realized I'd only watched the first 10 episodes with Hutzel back in early 2000s, and I love the show. I mean, I remember watching those first 10. I remembered watching. I'm like, oh, I remember those. But I love the anime. I am now more interested about the Netflix show. I'm going to start from the beginning once I finish the animated run, and I want to have a full report of what I feel. And if it was I'm going to have a Bryan ruling if cancellation was needed, or they should have made a season 2. But there is a petition that has been signed by a considerably amount of people to Netflix to bring back it in season 2. So
this guy.
I'm excited though. I love the theme song. I play it in my house all the time.
I will tell you,
Allison's singing the theme song all the time now. She doesn't even know why.
Yeah, I will tell you. And they remixed the new, like they actually brought the actual artist back, and she redid the
Tank.
Theme song.
The name of the song is Tank. Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you, the story of the TV show is not exactly like the cartoon, which is I think why a lot of people weren't super into it right away, because it doesn't really it has the same feel and story, but not the exact same.
Right. I did watch the first episode and I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know how I am. Like if there's a show, I'm like, oh, I'll read the graphic novel first.
Yeah.
But with this, I'm like, I should really just see through the whole show, the original show, and then I'll watch Netflix. It gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that. I watch like one a day. So
yeah.
And that's about it, Mark. Shall we get into the news?
Sure. Shoot. What we got?
All right. Well, over the weekend, Spider-Man No Way Home has secured its 4th domestic weekend box office victory.
Yeah, $30 million it hit.
It has no competition, so
it is 6th on the
highest grossing movie. Yes.
Just past the Titanic
and Jurassic World,
which is dropping like the Titanic.
I know. I'm going to go to Box Office Mojo right now and see where we are. I would like it.
Live update.
I would like to see Spider-Man.
The only things left are the 2 Infinity War movies, Black Panther, Avatar, and I think Avengers is the other one.
Now, here we go. Oh, wow. Okay. As of right now, Spider-Man No Way Home is number 6, which we just said. Nothing has changed. It is a sliver away of beating Infinity War, and maybe like a little bit more, it could beat out Black Panther. Then the big hurdles are the top 3: Avatar, Avengers Endgame, and The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I don't think it could be a Force Awakens or Endgame, but I do see it getting to number 3 and beating an Avatar. Because there's nothing coming out. And this movie it's got the potential of people seeing it over and over and over again. So I really believe this could be Avatar, which I hope. But it's also crazy to think that 2019 was the last time we had a big movie like this, Endgame. And then, is it also blows your mind that The Force Awakens came out in 2015? Doesn't that kind of blow your mind a little bit?
It would have, but I got the thing right before Spider-Man that it was the anniversary of us going to see Rogue One, which blew my mind because I was like, I couldn't think that, like, that was 2016, the year after Force Awakens.
Right.
I was like, what? That's crazy.
I know. It's crazy.
I felt like it was way longer than that.
It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right.
What happens when you rush through a series of movies that should have taken way longer?
Yeah. And then worldwide, Avatar still has number 1 because it came out in the theater a couple years ago to beat out Endgame again. And right now, Spider-Man No Way Home is number 8 in the global, which is pretty freaking good to being global. It's going to squeak out Lion King and Jurassic World. So I think that it could beat those 2 in the next couple weeks. All right, Mark, I got other news.
Okay.
What are you doing? You're reading texts over here.
Just work things are popping and happening, so I gotta.
All right. An Invincible artist is suing Robert Kirkman over animated show profits. So Robert Kirkman yet again is finding himself in legal troubles. This is the second time. He had the same problem with the co-creator of The Walking Dead. He sued him, said he swindled him out of his side of the deal. This guy saying the same thing about Invincible. Co-creator William Crabtree claims he co-created Invincible. He was the comic book's colorist for the first 50 issues, but was convinced by Kirkman to surrender his ownership of the title back in 2005 in order to make it easier to sell the rights to studios. So basically, he told the guy, like, it's easier for me to convince a place to buy this to be a movie or cartoon if it's only coming from one person.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't know if that's really true, but anyway.
It's like it could have been a thing of like, hey, instead of the two of us going to these meetings all the time, and you're not good in these meetings, sign it over to me. I'll be the person to go and do these things. I have the clout. I could use it to get this out.
It's not. That's not.
Or it could have been the thing of that guy wanting to get out of being involved in the whatever, and just being like, hey, I don't want to like do all that. And he's like, well, I want to go and promote to get the thing made into a movie or a show.
Well, here it is.
Rights from you.
He claims that Kirkman persuaded him by stating that Invincible would be more saleable to studios if it came from a single creator. This is coming from Crabtree. Kirkman falsely told Crabtree that Crabtree's rights and financial interest in the work would remain unchanged if he signed the certificate of authorship, and that the document would simply allow Kirkman to make the licensure of the work more easily, resulting in greater profits for both of them. But the guy never saw the profits. So they are, it's going to be in front of a court, a judge. I guess they're going to be, I don't think that it's going to be settled out of court. I think Tony Moore from The Walking Dead claimed he was swindled from Kirkman as well. And that ended, there was a settlement between the two parties.
Yeah, that's all it's going to be. It's just, here's a couple million, leave me alone.
Yeah, it's just not a good look for Kirkman.
Well, it's just because it's just the thing is what the problem is the properties. He's continuing doing the properties, and these other guys like start with him doing the properties, and then just either fade away or end up, him wanting to do something, and then the other guy's like, I don't want to do that, and so just and then the thing ends up taking off, and like, oh, wait a minute.
Well, it's different from what you just said and what really happened. Kirkman just basically told him, sign over your rights from this project, basically and the guy was just like, yeah, but I don't want to. And Kirkman persuaded him to. So he did, thinking, well, I'm still going to make money here.
Yeah.
But he didn't, because Kirkman basically lied to him. But I don't know. We'll see how this. Baby. We'll see how this all unfolds. Yeah. I mean, if you're in my opinion, if you're part of the original creation of a project that ended up becoming something else, you should get.
But how do you really know? That's the other thing too. Unless
his
you have
name's on the book. His name.
I know. I'm saying. Besides that, I'm saying like in other facets of stuff, things happen like that all the time.
But in this, his name is on the book. So it's there. But anyway, we'll have to see. I mean, I like Kirkman. I mean, but at the same time, business-wise, I don't know. We don't know what kind of type of person he is. But that's news. Any news from you, Mark?
Not really. It's pretty quiet. All quiet on the Western Front. Just kind of getting ready for. I don't really know what I'm getting ready for.
I don't know what you're getting ready for.
What it
was. I do want to say something before we jump into Book of Boba Fett. We have February 27th will be the next East Windsor Comic Con.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that it still happens.
Yeah.
It's going to be here in Enfield, Connecticut, back at the American Legion from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I know we haven't talked. I usually start promoting it in the beginning of the month of February. I'll bring it up now. I'm hoping by February things are calming down. I'm sure there might just be a mask mandate.
Yeah, unless I talked to Scott, he said everything's still a go. So he's going with it being a go. I know January 30th is the next Cliffs Con in Plainville.
Is
So
that
that'll be a good barometer of where things are.
yeah. Because these places are in smaller
Yeah,
venues.
so VFWs and American Legions. It's a smaller space.
Yeah. So all right. Well, that's good. We'll get that. We got that out of the way. All right, Mark. So Book of Boba Fett episode 2. What'd you think of this episode?
I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. I loved the fact that we got way more of the past of Boba Fett in this one. The what's happening now stuff is also amazing. Seeing Black, I'll mess up his name, but whatever.
The
Black
Wookiee?
Karastan from the Dr. Amphra series was awesome. That's a character I know from there. He's from the comic books. He probably was from other places, but I know him from the comic books.
Right.
He popped up in the Dr. Amphra series and the first Darth Vader series that I remember reading. And he was a cool character then, and just the fact that he's now like, and seeing him in real life was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh,
That's pretty cool.
they're doing it. They're bringing him in. The 2 huts was pretty cool. I love the terrible CGI of the huts. I always think that's fun.
It wasn't that bad.
It's pretty bad. For CGI stuff, it's pretty bad.
You think so?
You can definitely tell they're like cartoon characters. Like all they were missing was like a floating Harrison Ford stepping on their tail.
It wasn't that bad. I don't think it was that. It wasn't episode 1 bad. I thought it was pretty good.
It was just kind of, and those are also 2 characters that I've read like in the comic books they've been part of as well. So
right.
And they're terrible characters.
But
like people wise, like terrible beings.
Yeah, I mean they're the mafia. They're the I mean it's the mafia, and he killed the king, so now the family.
Well, he didn't kill the king.
Who killed Jabba the Hutt?
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia did, but he came. Boba Fett showed up and just took over.
Took the place over because no one else was doing anything with it. Well, Bib Fortuna was sitting there doing nothing.
Now this whole backstory with the Sand People.
Yes. Which is great. I'm loving learning more about the Sandpeople.
People. I have a hunch that they're going to come into play near the end of this show to help.
Oh, they're going to be like his secret army.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, they gave us a lot, and I'm like, this.
And what's going to happen is the kid that's in the past is now going to be the chief of the now time.
Right. Well, how much time has passed for that kid to be that old?
I think they said, well, Mandalorian takes place 5 years after.
Yeah. So he could be older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
But I do think it's showing that he wants to build bridges.
Well, he knows it's like his only chance of survival is with these guys. I mean,
with these guys.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to help him.
Yeah.
Take on the mayor and his,
or whatever the huts or
whatever is going on there.
I still think it's Crimson Dawn. I think that's how they're going to rope this in, because there's a thing out this morning. I don't know if you saw it this morning, that there's rumors that they're going to announce Emily Clark's getting her own show for her character.
I don't believe that. Has been announced by Marvel, or is it a rumor?
I just saw a quick thing this morning saying that Emilia Clarke's in negotiations to do her own show.
Well, the Pike Syndicate was in the Clone Wars and was in Solo.
Yes.
And they showed up in here too. Yes. They had the signature snake inspired helmets on.
Yes.
So I mean, there's all these factions on this planet.
Yes.
So I think the same people are going to help Boba Fett at the end. I think that's like you said.
Well, I think that's going to be that's just going to end up happening. But it'd be, the other thought I had was it'd be even cooler if he ends up killing the Hutts and teams up with the Wookiee, because that's a comic book story as well that
they gave a look. They had a look.
Well, because they're both bounty hunters. So.
But he seemed like he was on the side of the Hutts.
He is. He's their champion, so to speak. But like each hut has like a bounty hunter, like that's like their shtick. Like Boba Fett was Jabba the Hutt's like bounty hunter guy, and then Black Coruscant, which I know I'm messing up his name. Someone will tell me I'm doing it wrong. Was the twins bounty hunter basically? So
yeah.
So interesting to see how it all pans out.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see it was almost an hour episode. It felt like a movie.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're getting a lot of bang for our buck because we have 4 episodes left?
5. 7 total.
Oh, okay. We have 5. So I wonder if the rest are going to be shorter in length.
I don't know. I have a feeling they'll be right around an hour.
That gave us a lot of information already of his past. I feel like we got it all. I don't know if they're going to be going back into the past much.
He's got a lot to do because he when he shows up in Mandalorian, he is like an expert with the bow staff thing, whatever.
Right.
So he's not even there yet. He's still got a while to go, and I think there's going to be a lot more. Like of him finding out about the Mandalorian, and you're gonna get that stuff, and like finding out what happened with the Empire and everything. So all that still hasn't happened yet. So
if they go there, I mean,
you got 5 years of backstory to kind of like see like how he got into the story of Mandalorian.
My one complaint: he takes off his helmet so much. I'm like, keep the helmet on.
Because he's not a Mandalorian anymore.
He was never. He's not
a real Mandalorian, so that doesn't affect him.
No, that's not the point. My point is Boba Fett fights with his helmet on, and he's constantly taking it off. I'm like, just fight with it on, man.
Well, that's the cure for the Pedro Pascal issue.
I don't think there's a Pedro Pascal. People know
Mandalorian. No, because that was the thing with Mandalorian. People would always say like, "Oh, why can't we see his face? You never see his face." Blah blah blah. And I think it's there because they established it with the Mandalorian, gingered in that Mandalorians don't take their helmets off ever. I think they're trying to like accentuate that point, saying Boba Fett isn't a Mandalorian, so he doesn't know that you don't take your helmet off. So he takes it off when he's not being Boba Fett, basically.
I know. It's just like I want to see Boba Fett, not him, not his face.
Yeah.
It's my only minor complaint. Yeah. It's a stupid one, but
well, it's like him like saying like I don't have my armor on. I'm here to talk to you, not kill you.
Yeah.
See me with my helmet on, then there's trouble afoot.
I know, but he's always like whipping it off, taking it on. Yeah. My favorite, they put the coins in the helmet, and then he's just like, "Okay, thanks. I can't put this on."
Yeah, no, I can't put my helmet on. I got to dump these into something.
Or
you have a bag for these or something.
Oh man,
putting these dirty coins in my helmet that's going on my face.
Yeah, this was a solid episode. I mean, like I think it gave us a lot of his history. I feel satisfied about what we saw. I feel it all adds up. And I think it's building upon that these sand people will come back and help him out in the end. I think that's what it's establishing.
Because I think what the mayor was talking about, that there was someone else that was trying to assassinate him. I don't think it was the Hutts. Because the Hutts would just kill you. They wouldn't like send someone else to do it kind of thing. They'd want you to know it was them.
Yeah.
So I think there's some other bad out there.
You think it's the Crimson?
Crimson Dawn.
What if it's?
Because to me, like going off of what makes me think this is in the comic books right now. They just finished a story in the Star Wars comics. That's the part that they're doing now. They just finished or just kind of finished was from Hoth to from getting to Hoth basically, or getting to Han Solo being put in the carbonite. Like they got to that point.
Yeah.
In the comic books. Another story they're doing is what happens after. Now they're like just starting after Empire Strikes Back to Return of the Jedi, like that story. So that whole story is from the time Boba Fett takes Han Solo from Cloud City to go to Tatooine to give him to Jabba the Hutt. Crimson Dawn comes in and steals Han Solo in the carbonite and tries to auction him off, basically, to raise money for Crimson Dawn and to show that they're like back, basically.
Yeah.
Calamity ensues. Boba Fett gets Han Solo back, and then the end of the story that happened in War of the Bounty Hunters was Kira like basically being like, that was just basically our way of getting ourselves back out there. But we still want to get involved in things. So I think that's would make sense, because in that story she was really not happy with Boba Fett, and then Boba Fett dies. She thinks he's dead. Now he reappears as the replacement for Jabba the Hutt. Crimson Dawn would want him taken care of, so to speak. So I think that's where to me that would make sense. That'd be a cool connection of everything.
Would we get a cameo from Darth Maul?
No, he's not the leader of Crimson Dawn at this point. Kira is.
Yeah, I know, but he's still part of Crimson Dawn.
No, he's dead at this point.
But we don't know that.
Yes, we do.
How?
Because in timeline-wise, he died in Rebels.
So in Solo, he showed up in Solo, though.
Yeah, that was before New Hope.
This is true.
Yes. In the storyline wise, he fights Obi-Wan again in Clone Wars, and then shows up in Rebels, which takes place right before New Hope. And then he's dead.
Okay. That makes sense.
Wise. Yeah.
All right. I'm like trying to wrap my head around where everybody is.
Yeah. In canon stuff, he's not with us anymore.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I feel like the Emilia Clarke thing, she doesn't need her own show. I think it's a rumor. It'd
be a good show though. Like the crime syndicate show.
Yeah. But we got that with
That's her being the big bad though. That's her being like a good crime syndicate person.
I know you need a good
these are basically just mafia shows at this point. Book of Boba Fett is basically just the mafia show.
So, but there's other influences. It's very Western.
I'm saying, but it's just kind of like that kind of storyline wise. All the different crime families fighting.
I could see her showing up. I don't see her having her own show.
I think if they were to do the story that they kind of just did in the comic books and had her do her own story, which they're now like launching off into its own book, Crimson Reign, which is like a whole like her versus Darth Vader story, basically. I think that could be like a good translation into a show.
Well, I mean, the next show is Obi-Wan with Darth Vader.
Yeah. And the next show after that's Andor.
Yeah. I'm more excited for Obi-Wan.
And Ahsoka.
Yeah. Andor, I'm like, yeah, you're going to die. I don't care. I want
Not in the show, though.
Yeah, but he dies in the movie, so, you know.
But that's like years later.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I got to see it. I'm not that excited for it.
It's going to be like a spy drama, which I think it'll be cool.
I'm lukewarm on it.
Right? Luke Skywalker about it?
I'm Luke Skywalker about it. I'm not Princess Leia. I'm Luke Skywalker. If I was Princess Leia, I'd be all about it. But
not Han Solo. I'm kind of Luke Skywalker about
I've got a Luke Skywalker about it. But this episode, Mark, I mean, I give it a 10. I think it's a 10 for me.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching a movie. I mean, really.
Oh, the train battle was the best.
Dude, that train scene was awesome.
Yeah.
It was better than Solo's train heist.
Yeah.
I hate
Seeing
to
live
say it,
action
it was.
Pikes is like, for a Star Wars like in-depth nerd like I am that reads all the comics and watches all the cartoons and everything and all the canon stuff and knows like a lot about the different weird factions. The Pikes have always been like that group that's not really been like delved into yet. And if they can delve into them and give you more about the Sand People and what they're all about, I'm in.
The spice must flow.
Yeah.
It's like Dune.
Yeah.
Where's the spice coming from? Where's it going?
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, awesome episode. I can't believe tomorrow's Wednesday. Episode 3 will be hitting. It's funny, I didn't watch episode 2 until Friday. I watch it on Friday. I don't know why. So, all right, Mark. Is there any final thoughts on that before we wrap it up?
Not really. I mean, we didn't mention at the beginning of the show, but I'll throw it out now. We did lose Bob Saget over the weekend.
Oh, yes.
We talked about it before we started recording.
Yes.
He was amazing. Like you were talking about the Betty White documentary. If you can find it, I'm not sure where it's streaming right now, but there was a Bob Saget documentary a long while back, like a comic special, like a comedy special that he did.
Yeah.
Of him torn around and stuff.
I think it was on Showtime, but it's really funny.
Yeah, it was the best.
Yeah.
Made me like really get into Bob Saget and thought he was great. And he was also connected with Don Rickles and Don Stamos, and they were all a group together basically for a long while. But yeah.
I anytime Bob Saget was on a podcast, I would listen to it because his stories, he grew up with Rodney Dangerfield. Mm-hmm. He became close friends with him in the Comedy Store and the comedy circuit, but he had such great stories about Rodney and comedy in general. And
he was one of those guys that was like the conduit from like the old school comics, like you're saying, Rodney Dangerfield, Don Rickles, Bob Newhart, like that whole group, into like what like Seinfeld now era comics. So it was like he was like that go-between guy that like was in between the two groups, kind of, which was kind of cool.
His comedy was really good, and
it was very irreverent, which is completely separate. That was like his thing too. Like he played really blue because he was like, I was such a nice guy on Full House. I gotta go complete opposite to make people pay attention.
He was very risque when it came to his humor.
Yes.
So it's crazy though. It's also one of the weirdest part. The oddest part was during America's Home Videos, they interrupted it to tell you Bob Saget died, who used to host America's Funniest Videos. The irony there.
That was our TikTok.
Or YouTube. I don't go on TikTok. So it was my YouTube.
For the kids don't know YouTube anymore. They're all on TikTok now.
I can't stand the TikTok.
Yeah, me either. But that was like how we saw stuff. Like we didn't like YouTube videos. That was America's Funniest Home Videos back in the day. Like, that's how everyone gathered together and Sunday nights with their parents sat down in the living room and watched Bob Saget play a bunch of funny videos. Yeah.
And it's amazing that show's still on.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was still on.
Fonzo Ribeiro.
Yeah, he hosts it now.
Was Tom Bergeron for a long time.
Yeah, he was in between. It was Bob Saget, Tom Bergeron, and now what's his face?
Yeah, and they just done, I want to say like a couple years ago, they did like an anniversary special for America's Funniest Home. I think it was like 20 some odd years or some crazy thing like that. And they had Bob Saget and Tom Bergeron came on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, to like do like a, you've anniversaries thing. So
yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. 65 years old. He was out on tour. He was trying to make another special, I guess. That's what he was working on. So
yeah, it was first leg of his tour. Like he performed that night. He posted on Instagram that night, and he went to bed. And something happened. We don't know what happened yet. So
yeah.
Investigations. I mean, there's no foul play, no drugs, no alcohol. He didn't kill himself. I mean, these are all
good because he had issues there for a while with that stuff. Like he admitted he was in which one of those Norm Macdonald movies? Was it one of the Norm Macdonald movies he was in where he was in rehab?
Yeah, but he wasn't in rehab in real life.
No, but I'm saying, but I know that he actually did have some drug issues as well. Early on,
I don't know if he did,
or alcohol or something. It was
could have been alcohol, but
yeah.
And it might have been Dirty Work or Half Baked.
I want to think it was Dirty Work.
He says, "I'll suck your dick for blow."
Yeah, I think that's Bob Saget.
And I think that's when I first realized, I'm like, oh my God, Bob Saget said that. And then that's how I discovered that his humor was very blue.
Yes, very risque, yes.
Yeah, and plus I was young when that movie came out, so I didn't know any better. I just saw Bob Saget on Full House or America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that movie and that scene, I was like, oh my, we all laughed our asses off.
Yeah.
Coming from America's Dad.
Yes. Yeah.
He was America's Dad at the time, I think. Yeah.
He was. Yeah, that was the Full House time. That was.
Yeah.
He was telling everyone how to solve all their problems.
You got to hug it out. You got to hug it out.
When the music changes, it's going to get serious.
We're
going to sit down for a deep talk with Bob Saget, Danny Tanner.
You give it a hug and everything's cured.
Yeah. Which has to be, honestly, one of the saddest premises for a comedy show ever.
What?
Full House.
Well, yeah, his wife died.
His wife dies in a car accident. So her brother and one of his friends comes to live with them so he can help raise his kids.
Yeah.
It's like when we were young, I never got that, like the full gist of it until you're older and you think about it. I'm like, what a sad concept for a show. Who would go into somewhere and be like, all right, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to make a family comedy, but the premise is the lead wife dies in a tragic car accident and he's left with 3 young daughters. And then what's going to happen is her goofy comedian brother is going to come and live with them. And then his buddy is going to, and her other brother, I think it was her other brother, right? No, yeah, Jesse was her brother. That's
I'm not in.
Her brother Jesse's going to come live with him, and his best buddy Joey's going to come live with them and help raise the kids. Stamp it. Make it so.
Back then, sitcoms were kind of weird. There's a lot
That's
of
like a
sitcoms.
dark concept.
But they made it funny.
Yeah, in parts. I remember they used to like have episodes where they talked about the mom and all that. Whew.
Yeah, I don't know. Very weird, very bizarre, very dark.
Yeah.
They hugged it out in the end.
They hugged it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out. All right, Mark. It's been a show. We'll wrap it up. We'll be back next week with episode 3 of Boba Fett.
Yes.
More news. Subscribe, like us, and we'll see you in a week.
Yes. We'll see everyone next week. Everyone be good. And as always, don't cross the grandma moth.